Let's just say I'm Frankenstein's monster.
Say it out loud.
Frankenstein!
Frankenstein.
Frankenstein.
My name, it's pronounced Frankenstein.
Welcome back to Franken-Fridays, everybody. Today we are talking about The Curse of Frankenstein. This is part of the 50s Hammer horror studio. They did a whole bunch of horror movies in the 50s. This was a British studio starring Peter Cushing as Victor Frankenstein and Christopher Lee as the monster. They did a bunch of these Frankenstein movies with this cast. They also did a bunch of Dracula movies with Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee. I talked about one of them in this video. You can watch if you want. I don't think I like these movies that much. Now, I've only seen the first Dracula one of this era, Horror of Dracula, and this one, Curse of Frankenstein. So, and they made like a whole bunch more, so there could be other ones that are really good, and I just didn't particularly vibe too much with these ones. I like this cast a lot. I think Peter Cushing is really, really great in this one. He plays like a very evil Frankenstein, which is kind of fun. In other versions of Frankenstein, the doctor is a little bit more sympathetic, or at the very least he has like some humanity in him. Either he's like just kind of letting his scientific discovery go too far and he's not thinking about the consequences, or at the very least he has like a family that he loves or a fiance that he loves. In this one, he's just an asshole. He's just a straight up asshole. He's willing to let others die for his cause. He's willing to kill people for his cause. He's kind of misogynistic. He's just a fucking dick. And Peter Cushing is very fun to watch in that role. And also, kind of like the Dracula movie, Christopher Lee is great, but there's not enough of him. He gets built into a guy kind of late into this movie. There's a lot of like build up to him creating the creature, which I actually kind of liked. The first almost half of the movie, he's almost on like a quest to find all the Infinity Stones, where he's like collecting different body parts. He's like, I want to make the perfect creature, so I'm like hunting down these hands that belong to a sculptor, so he's gonna have the most like artistically valid hands or whatever, and I want to use the brain of this old professor who's like really smart and has all this experience of knowledge. So he like invites him over for dinner, and then he like pushes him down the stairs. And then later when he makes the monster, he's like, oh, the brain has been damaged. It's like, yeah, dude, I wonder how that fucking happened. But Christopher Lee, I kind of really like the look of the monster here. It's very different from the 30s Frankenstein. And he looks real fucked up and gross. And I kind of love it. He's got like 2 different colored eyes. And his face is all scarred and the flesh is like kind of hanging off. It looks real gross. Great job, makeup team here. But not enough of him in the movie. I wanted more of Christopher Lee, because he's great. Maybe he's in some of the sequels more. I don't know. I also really liked the design of Frankenstein's lab and all this equipment he uses to make the monster. He's in this like vat of a mysterious liquid that has all these tubes and stuff attached to it, and there's just like weird stuff spinning and bubbling, again going in a different direction than the stuff from the 30s movie, which gives this its own kind of unique feel to it. And I like it. They do work in the lightning, where Victor's like working on it, and he's like, it's almost complete. He goes to his partner in this, who's like a major character who's not in the books or anything. But he's very like reluctant to help Victor. But anyways, Victor steps away for a moment, and this happens to be during a thunderstorm. His lab gets struck by lightning, and all the machines turn on. There's a great sequence where the monster first shows up and like just immediately attacks Frankenstein and almost kills him and chokes him to death. Then his partner Paul comes in and rescues him, and he's like barely able to breathe after getting choked out, but absolutely no sense of remorse in his voice, and he's immediately like, it worked, he's alive. And it's like, dude, I think you have bigger problems. This guy tried to kill you. But yeah, does some different stuff with the story. In this one, he's initially having an affair with Justine, who's a character from the book, who's like this maid slash friend of the Frankenstein family. And then she's like, hey, when are you gonna like marry me like you promised? And he's like, I'm not gonna do that. And then she's like, well, you probably should, because I'm pregnant. And he's like, yeah, fuck you, I'm gonna marry Elizabeth instead, even though I don't really care about her either. And she's like, well, I'm gonna fucking tell the cops about this crazy experiments you're doing. And then she sneaks into the laboratory to try to get some evidence, and then he locks her in the room and the monster kills her. Wow, that's pretty fucked up. Again, this is the most dickish Victor Frankenstein that I've yet to see. Willing to kill a pregnant woman who he was having an affair with. What a cool guy. Fuck him. Luckily, he gets sentenced to guillotine at the end of this one, so good. He deserves it. But yeah, overall, I'm just not as like enthused by this one. It's still short, so that's nice. It's a quick, like 70, 80 minutes or something. But I think it loses some of the stuff, some of the fun aesthetics of the original 30s movies. It's not just the black and white. The production design is great in those, and they also are just like way better at using shadows and lighting to make to really build atmosphere. Everything just looks fucking cool. And these Hammer ones, like, they were allowed to be in color and they could use more blood, so they kind of lean into it being colorful, and I don't know that it always kind of works. Like, everything feels overlit in a lot of these sequences when it should be like this gothic dark setting. Like, even nighttime scenes, it's still bright. I don't know. I don't think it quite works for me. At least I don't think I like this aesthetic as much as I think the 30s movies have a classic feel to them that also is strangely timeless, you know? So, I don't know. I like Peter Cushing. I wanted more of Christopher Lee. And there's some stuff that I kind of like in this one, but overall, it's not my favorite. And that's, I think, mostly all I got to say about this one. What are your thoughts? Are you a fan of the Hammer horror series? Is there another Frankenstein from this era that I should check out? Let me know in the comments. And we'll see you next time on the road to Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. Bye-bye.